Now in settings, we have under customer payments a heap more options, which is very, very cool. So we can set next invoice number. This has been something that's been asked for. There's a lot of people where they want the numbers to align with their accounting system. So you can choose the next invoice number. So you might be like, my invoice number needs to be 18752 or whatever before. Whatever the case is, you can choose now what the next invoice number is going to be. So in the past, it started at one and just counted from there. It may be that you have a separate series, like that you want to, I don't know, do like 10078 4, like some longer number, because then everything that starts with 1000 is a Kajabi invoice number in your system. Whatever you want. I don't think you can add letters. No, there's no letters. There's only numbers. So this is just a little helpful addition that I was very, very happy about. The other thing that I'm very, very happy about is email invoices to go out for zero value, like free offers. It's now been turned off that you send, actually, no, it's turned on, sorry. So send only if the transaction has value. So that means if someone starts a free trial, if someone buys a product like a checkout offer where it's zero, they're no longer going to get a receipt that says, thank you for your purchase. That price was, or tax invoice for $0. So you have an option to update that in your settings. So I misread it when I first saw it. So you may want to come in here and check that on. So you're only going to send invoices out if you've got your system set up to be a tax invoice or whatever you've got, if there is a price attached to it. So yeah, so I personally prefer to do that because then you've got receipts going out. And on that, I have mine set to tax invoice so that it is tax compliant within Australia, and I make sure that my ABN is on there. Okay, next invoice number can only be longer than 5 digits. There you go. So we've got a 5 digit maximum. Okay, so some of those other changes just might be a good idea to come and review this. There were some changes done last year, but if you haven't been in here for a while, you just may want to come and have a look. So also now there is an option to attach receipts to email. So you can turn this one on so that receipts can actually be downloaded as a PDF. So some people may not want it to be within the body of their email themselves. So if you turn that on, the invoice or the receipt will now be able to be downloaded. So especially if you're doing selling to businesses, that may be something that's a really helpful addition. Most of these things here have been around for a while, but this subscription cancellation, this is a whole new thing that has been set up, and it gives you the option. This is turned on, so I would recommend, if you do have a subscription offer, to go in and check these settings and make sure that it is what you want, because this is saying it will use two-step cancellation. So when someone cancels their subscription, you can then put a message in here. So I don't personally love this message, like, if now's not the right time, that's okay. But it's a default. I would personally go and update this copy, and you can set your brand logos color styles. This isn't set because this is my partner account, but you may want to go through and do that so it will be branded. And then you have options here to put your own cancellation reasons in. These are the ones that Kajabi has set for you, but you can add your own option. So when someone goes to cancel, they'll get this message and then it will ask them, why did you cancel? And why did you cancel is one of the most important pieces of information that you can get, because if you have, I don't know, 20 people cancel and there's 20 people saying it was too difficult to use or I'm not getting value, as opposed to saying it's too expensive, then that can give you an indication of, like, you can either follow up with them, or if people feel they aren't getting value, maybe it's just that they don't know how to access the value. Maybe they are not seeing the value in it. Maybe you can look through, like, all right, what am I not doing within my subscription? Am I not providing enough? Is it that you're not directing people to the right content? It gives you an opportunity to potentially reach out to that person and say, hey, I'd love to know a little bit more about that. But it's, giving you clues. So you can add up to 8 lines here to collect information. People choose one option, but that is a really, really helpful bit of data that you can collect, especially if you are seeing high churn in a subscription product and you don't know why. If everyone is saying, if you're seeing a lot of it's too expensive. Again, that can be a thing where, do you want to be looking at pricing, tiered pricing? And again, I would be looking for patterns. I would never react based on a handful of comments. You want to be looking at sort of broader patterns that are happening. And also do bear in mind sometimes people will just choose the first one. So I would personally consider mixing them up because I don't think Kajabi is going to mix them up. I think it's going to present them as they are. So I would personally, if I saw that 80% of people said the first option all the time, I'm not getting enough value, I would test that by moving that to a different place in these options to see if that still happens. Because sometimes people just tick the first thing that they see. So this cancellation option, like I said, is being turned on by default. So you may want to go and customize that. It is within your settings and within customer payments. And then if you do get people canceling, then you can go and view that cancellation report, which is going to give you those reasons.